Hello and welcome back to the Python 3 for Beginners tutorial, and today we will be talking about the init function. So this is in classes, so if you remember last time we made a class, we called it person. I'm going to use that same example here. Okay, so we have our class and our person. Now if you remember last time we gave the age by, I think we said 20 or something like that. Okay, so this is a class variable right here. It's basically set in stone, so you can't really change the age that way. So this is the class variable we set this time, but let's just say we set, okay, so class variable, we're gonna call this let's call this species. Okay, now we are all species human, or not species, something along those lines. Human. Okay, so a person is a human. So this is basically setting it in stone. Now, the init function stands for initialize, and this function is going to be looked for right when you create the object. So right when you create the object, it's going to look for the init function, and when it finds it, it's going to do everything inside of it, and you don't even have to call it at all. So you do this by doing the define keyword. It's just like a normal function, except this time use two underscores. So underscore underscore init init, and then underscore underscore again. And you'll see in Sublime Text it went blue, and that's because it's like a built-in function that basically just it's in the startup of the object, I guess is how you could call it. And then this is going to take a parameter self. Except now I want to create an instance variable, and these just go in the parameters of the init function. And I want to give everyone a name, but I also want to give them an age. So every person, well, not every person is going to have a different age, but every person will have a different name, but they will all be a human. So then you do your colon, and what we want to do now is we want to set a variable, and we're going to do self dot, and then we're going to do self.name is equal to name. And what this does is this creates the variable self.name because we have to use self, but we're creating the variable name, and this just sets it to whatever we put in for the parameter of name. So self.name equals name, and then you want to do self.age equals age as well, because whatever gets put in for the age parameter is going to go into this self.age variable. Okay, so now that's all we need in our init function right here. So like I said, this just, you don't have to call it because it's already going to get called immediately within, like, when you make your object, it's already going to be called. So now I'm going to make a new function, and I'm going to call this get underscore name, and we have to use self, but we don't need any parameters for this. And all we're going to do is we're going to print self.name. So what this is going to do is this is going to print this, so self.name, but this is, it's going to print whatever is in here, so it's just going to print this variable right up here. And that's all we need for that. Now I'm going to define a getAge function, so if we do self again, and this time all we do is we print self.age, because we need these, self.name and self.age thing. So that is all we need. Now we have our init function up here. It just creates these variables right on startup, and then, or here, a better example right here, I'm gonna print something to show you that we don't need to call it. So this is the init. Okay, so now if I create an object and I just call this person Jim, now I'm going to comment these out really quick to show you that this is indeed happening right when I create the object. So Jim is equal to, and then it's equal to person. So we are going to take out, actually, okay, so we need to just throw out parameters really quick. So if you see, it requires a name, but we don't need to do anything for self, so we need to give it a name. So I'm going to give it a name of Jim, And then I need an age. So the age, he will be 12. He's a 12-year-old boy named Jim. Okay, so this is our object, Jim. He is a person, and his name's Jim, and his age is 12. So another thing I do, since in the init it's not going to print anything, but this is the init. So if I just do this really quick, I can run python and then classes.py. You're going to see it's going to immediately print this is the init. I didn't tell it to use any of these functions down here, but since this is initializing, it's just going to print this. So that shows you that, you know, it does it right when you create the object. So now I'm going to show you how this class variable up here works. So I can just print, and I can print Jim dot, and then it's kind of like the function, but it's just a variable. So I'm just going to print Jim dot species. Now this is kind of like self. This just, when you print self, it means it's using the variable inside the class that it's in. So Jim dot species, and if I run this again, it's going to print human because we told it to print Jim dot species. But we have to do this after we create the object, or else it's not going to know what Jim is. So now that we do that, I'm going to create, or I'm going to do Jim dot, and then I'm going to get the name, and we need these right here, but it doesn't take any parameters. And then we're going to do Jim dot get age, and it doesn't need parameters either. So basically what this is going to do, since we gave Jim a name Jim and the age of 12, it's going to print all these things. So it prints Jim as his name, 12 as his age, and then we'll just print one more thing up here. We'll print the Jim.species like I had before. I'm just going to put all that together, and if I clear the screen here and then run that again, it's going to print human, Jim, and 12. So to show you this, if we just go ahead and create another object, and we call his name will be Bob, and he is a person, and his name is Bob, and his age, he'll be 15, so he's a teenager. And then all I do is I print Bob.species. This just shows you that all of the people, or the person, people objects in the person class will indeed be a human. So today, or what I taught you in this video, was the init function and how what you can do with that, as well as class variables and instance variables. So I hope you all enjoyed. If you have any questions, comment down below, and I will be more than happy to answer them for you. If you liked the video, then leave a like, and I will see you guys in the next one.